don't have any hope. You don't have anything else. We are really not surviving.
Dr. Martin Luther King, the apostle of nonviolence in the civil rights movement, has been shot.
The investigation into the high school massacre is slow-moving and dangerous.
Welcome to Hide and Seek TV. I'm about to get ready to do a very deep breakdown, y'all. And I was actually taking a couple days to really just look deep into this, because this right here is insane. And what I want to talk about is I'm going to be talking about Kobe and Chadwick Boseman. I got a new angle that I'm going to be approaching this with, and I want y'all to bear with me. First off, I hope y'all having a great day today. Hoping everybody doing good out there. Thank y'all for subscribing. Thank y'all for really supporting my channel. And just, like I say, anytime y'all have a request, just leave it in the comments, and I'm going to get to it. And I got more videos coming. But let's delve into this theme about Kobe, man, and Chadwick Boseman. And this is a deep video. The parallels in this, it's crazy. So what I want to talk about, first off, everybody who know Kobe know he wore number 24 and number 8. You know what I'm saying? And what I want to start it out with right quick before I delve deep is, he was born August 23rd. You feel what I mean? Which is during the time of the Virgo, aka the Virgin. You know what I'm saying? I'll get into all that later on. But when you understand 823, remember Kobe loved Michael Jordan. Hint, Jordan wore number 23, and Kobe obviously came in the league wearing number 8, hint the 823. But what I want to talk about is obviously is his name, Bryant, right? Now I'm going to delve deep, because if you remember about Emmett Till back in 1955, remember the ones who had the situation going on. I don't really want to do the YouTube censorship. The ones who had the situation going on, you had the guy Roy Bryant and his brother. Now I'm going to delve deep into this, because the guy was born January 24th, right? Roy Bryant. Kobe dies January 26th. Allegedly dies January 26th. And what I want to talk about right quick is how when you look at this, his name is Bryant, because all Bryant means is what? He will ascend. Hint, Kobe was in the helicopter. Now I'm going to delve deep into this, because at the time that this stuff went down with Emmett was at 2:30 a.m. Remember I said Kobe was born August 23rd. Hint to 2:30 and 2:03. 23rd. You get where I'm going with this. And what got me thinking is like how all is connected, because when you look at it too, it just made me think, because like I said, this guy was born January 24th. Kobe allegedly dies January 26th. Bryant means he will ascend. You feel what I'm saying? Like, this stuff is real, because when you look at Chadwick Boseman, he allegedly dies August 28th, which is the same day that happened with Emmett Till. You feel it? I'm going to delve deep on this whole thing, y'all. But what I want to talk about too is how Chadwick Boseman is deep, because Chadwick Boseman, when he first started out, he had a play called Crossroads, about like somebody who he had staged at the school where after a classmate was shot and killed. He was ranked number 8, for like an oratory speech, you know what I mean? And you already know Kobe wore number 8. This stuff is that real, and that was in 95, and Kobe was drafted with 96. So what I want to tap into right quick is when you look at it, Chadwick Boseman's mother name was Carolyn, right? And he's from South Carolina. Now, when you understand the name, what the name Carol comes from, it comes from what? Kara, which don't means nothing but the Messiah, aka the head, the anointed one, right? So what I want to talk about, hint why Ja Morant, those who are familiar with sports, Ja Morant is from where? He's from South Carolina. He's from South Carolina, and Zion Williamson is from South Carolina. And when you know about Ja, all that means is Yah in Hebrew, Yah, the Most High. And Zion is nothing but the holy city, Zion. You know what I'm saying? And hint why Ja Morant is in Memphis and Zion Williamson is out there in New Orleans. Because when you understand New Orleans, is what? You got the Saints. You feel what I'm saying? The pelican, the spiritual bird. You know what I mean? Just to keep it simple right quick. So that's why all of this is all coming together. Because when you understand the name, his mother's name is Carolyn. The sister, the one who got Emmett Till, who started all the crap, her name was Carolyn Bryant, yo. It's no way around this stuff. And this stuff literally blew my mind. Because I'm sitting here like, are you kidding me? You feel what I'm saying? This stuff is crazy, man. And let's just keep it flowing some more, because when you understand it too, what I want to talk about is I want to keep this thing flowing some more because you know the new movie that just came. I mean, well, you know, you had the Oscars, the Academy Awards. I mean, that just happened. And remember how Anthony Hopkins beats Chadwick Boseman for Best Actor. Now I want to delve into this because the movie Anthony Hopkins played on was called The Father, right? And when you know about the movie called The Father, you know it's about a man who basically is aging and he's like losing a lot of memory. You feel what I'm saying? And I'm gonna delve deep into this because the movie comes from a play from a man named Christopher, aka Christ, Christos. You know, you understand this. And like I said, it's about memory loss. Let's play a clip from Chadwick Boseman's last film.
I tell you the truth. God ain't never listen to them niggas' prayers. God take a nigga's prayers and throw them in the garbage. God don't pay niggas no mind. In fact, God hate niggas.
You feel what I'm saying? The aspect of being forgotten. As it's written in Psalms 10:11, he has said in his heart, God has forgotten. He hideth his face, he would never see it. You feel what I'm saying? Like in a sense of the Most High ignoring the prayers. You get where I'm going with this? Like when you look at the Emmett Till, you know, sight, you see how it has him like inside of the all-seeing eye. You feel what I mean? And I'm going to delve into that in a little bit. And notice the guy who created the Black Panther, he dies 1994, man. And you see how his name is Jack Kirby. He's nothing but Jewish. You know what I mean? We get into that later on. But notice the guy who created the Black Panther, he died August 28th, 1994. Now, you remember I was talking about Roy Bryant, the guy who allegedly, I mean, the one who does this with Emmett Till. Remember, he dies September 1st, 1994. How is this a coincidence, y'all? How is it a coincidence? There's no way around it. Let's keep this thing flowing. About it anyway. Remember, Emmett Till happened out there in Mississippi. You know, he was from Chicago. So when you understand that, which is deep because you know how Obama was living in Chicago. I'm gonna get into that later on. But when you know about the whole aspect of the Mississippi River, it looks just like the Nile River in Egypt. You feel what I'm saying? And what I want to talk about, remember how the Messiah had to go to Egypt, you know, to flee away from the Romans, you know, as a child. But when you understand this, how that all goes back to the Obama aspect, which is very serious, is because when you understand how all of this stuff flows, man, and there's no way around it. All was showing they exalting because all T'Challa was on the movie Black Panther was Obama. He was the one who brought everything together as one to rebel against Thanos. Because when you know about Thanos ain't represent nothing but like the Most High. He was the one coming to cleanse up the earth. You know what I'm saying? Just to keep it simple. But when you know about Obama, he was the 44th president. And when you understand, like I said, just like Emmett Till, you know, he was living in Chicago. So when you look at this, the 44 represents nothing but the whole aspect of the ark of the covenant. So when you know about that, this is why the Masons wear the bow tie, because they want to say that they taking the Messiah from being the head. You feel what I'm saying? Because hint the number 44 on Break Your Neck by Busta Rhymes. You see the license plate with the number 44 and it has the circle above it, because all that represents is nothing but the aspect of the Akhenaten pharaoh. You know what I'm saying? The whole theme of worshiping the Akhenaten. You know, this stuff is that real, worshiping the false Messiah. You feel what I'm saying? Just to keep it simple, y'all. And hint to break your neck, because that represents them not wanting the Messiah to be at the head. But what I'm going to talk about too right quick is I'm going to delve deep, because remember, after Kobe's situation the same year, remember Lakers played against the Heat. So I'm going to get my point across. Lakers played against the Heat in the finals. And when you understand that, as it's written, the Messiah is what? The bronze serpent. And remember, Kobe was called the Black Mamba. So when you understand this whole thing, all that represented, that whole finals was representing nothing but like Lake of Fire, aka nothing but the Messiah being the fiery bronze serpent. Like, this stuff is that real, why they played this rollout right before our eyes. Remember, I said the name Bryant means to ascend. And you remember Emmett Till was obviously found in the waters. You know what I'm saying? And hint the whole aspect of like the Messiah, you know, being, you know, risen up again, a man out to sea. I'm going to delve deep into that later on. But what I want to talk about right quick is Michael B. Jordan. And you know, if you remember back in the day, Michael B. Jordan was on Days of Our Lives. He replaced Chadwick Boseman. And this is very prominent throughout their career. You feel what I'm saying? And I'm going to delve deeper into this whole aspect as the video goes on. But what I want to talk about right quick too is if you remember the guy off Get Out, remember the guy off the movie Get Out, remember he played on the movie Black Panther as well. And his name was what? You remember his name was Chris. I'm gonna get into this later on with the Get Out. But notice this. He was helping T'Challa lose the throne, remember? He was the one that was helping Killmonger come into play, because when you understand Killmonger, which is Michael B. Jordan, Killmonger, remember his name was Jadaka, you know what I mean? And all the Jah, like I said again, Jah don't mean nothing but the aspect of Yah. And then the Ka, aka coming from Kara, which means the head saint, the Messiah. You feel what I'm saying? So I want to talk deep on this, because what all this represent is the whole theme of like them trying to exalt the aspect of Obama coming into power. Everything, if you remember last year, remember Beyonce had the theme, what was it called? The Black is King. All of that happened before Chadwick Boseman's alleged death. You know, you had Kendrick Lamar dropped the Black Panther album. All of this stuff was all to like, you know, exalt this whole theme of this image that they're putting into coming into the ark. You feel what I'm saying? Like I was talking about earlier. But let's delve deeper right quick, because listen to Chadwick Boseman. People already done seen this, but I just want to really elaborate further on where I'm going with this.
Give us a spoiler or anything like that.
I'm dead.
What about Black Panther 2? Anything?
I'm dead.
No, we're not ready for you to be dead, Chadwick.
But I am. I'm dead.
You feel what I'm saying? He's like, I'm already dead. Because this is like months or probably a year or so before all of that. Remember when he got real skinny? All that represented was him doing the great fast, because remember the Messiah was fasting in the wilderness. This whole thing was to literally, like, the whole aspect of everything coming into fruition, of them pushing this false image. Let's get deep into this. In January, it was called the Black Panther cartoon. This is after Chadwick Boseman, but this is like a week before Kobe, or 11 days before Kobe allegedly dies. Let's play the clip and chime on in. Remember, Kobe is the Black Mamba snake, and T'Challa, aka the Black Panther, aka Chadwick Boseman.
Today, victory is mine, old friend. Perhaps you will win our next race. Thank you for the workout.
You see how he's saying perhaps you'll win the next race? Because when you understand, like I said, how Kobe is playing a false messiah, aka the bronze serpent, when you know about the panther in the scriptures as it's written in Revelation 13, all the panther is nothing but the leopard, aka the one that come out the sea, the beast that comes out the sea to bring forth one world order. Let's just keep it simple on this video. To bring forth one world order. That's what the whole leopard aspect represent, aka the panther. You feel what I'm saying? And when you understand that, what they trying to say was that, you know, the Messiah is going to help bring up and rise up the one who's bringing in one world order, the one world order agenda. You feel what I'm saying? Because when you understand Revelation 17, remember you have the 8 kings, and it said that the one king that was once been shall be again. Hence why Joe Biden is in office, because he was Obama's vice president. Do you get where I'm going with this? So the whole aspect is everything coming together, because when you understand in the Mayan mythologies, you know, the jaguar was the ruler of the underworld, aka the panther ruled hell. You feel what I'm saying? And like the whole aspect of the snake represented nothing but the aspect of the rebirth. You get what I mean? So that's why, you know, the jaguar was the one that was second to the god of, was second to the snake, because the snake represented diligence, represented full aspect of rebirth, and, you know, and great wisdom. And notice why the panther was like the second to it, because he was the panther. He was like the one ruling the underworld. You feel what I'm saying? So hence why you see in Revelation 13 how the leopard comes out the sea to bring forth hell on earth. And remember when I was talking about that whole aspect, that's why the Lakers had to play against the Heat, because that represented nothing but the aspect of the hell, lake of fire. You see what I'm saying? The aspect of the bronze fiery serpent, the Messiah. Just look at the blasphemy that these people do. Let's delve deeper into this. Prove my point about the guy who played on Get Out, the one that was on Black Panther, the one that helped Killmonger get the throne. You feel what I'm saying? I actually need to show that in a minute. But the one who helped Killmonger get the throne right quick, I'm going to play it right quick. Remember when T'Challa was fighting against Killmonger, for those who ain't seen the movie? Remember, he gets thrown off the cliff. I want to look. You see how he throw him off the cliff into the sea. If you seen the movie Godzilla, remember Godzilla went back into the sea. Remember that on the new movie Godzilla versus King Kong, because that represent them going, that represents Satan going back into the abyss. And when Killmonger, aka Michael B. Jordan, I'm gonna delve into him real deep later on. Michael B. Jordan, remember he threw him off the cliff because that represent him, the aspect of like Scar knocking Mufasa on the Lion King off the rock into off the cliff, to try to say that he's throwing Satan down from being king and God of this world. That's all that represented. Hint why you see they had T'Challa, the 3 women represent nothing but the 3 Marys trying to, witness the Messiah being born and coming back to life. You see this stuff is that real, man. You know what I'm saying? All of this is that real. You see what I'm saying? That's all I'm trying to say was like, that their God is going to wake back up. It's crazy how everything comes together. But just to get back to my point, the movie Get Out came out February 24th, 2017. And you remember 2020, Kobe had his memorial February 24th, the 224. He wore number 24. But just pay attention to how all of this comes together, and there's no way around it. Because remember I said the guy on Get Out helped Michael B. Jordan take the throne. And what I want to talk about, remember, like I was saying earlier, Michael B. Jordan replaced Chadwick Boseman on the show Days of Our Lives. Remember that. And if you remember on the movie Get Out, the guy Chris, aka the guy who helped T'Challa lose the throne, remember him and Logan King. He came across Logan King, who underwent the whole aspect of undergoing, being controlled by, you could say, white folks, just put it like that. But what I want to say is that whole thing was duality, because this movie, when they do the black and the white, all that represents is nothing but the yin yang, aka darkness and light coming together. You know what I mean? Like the whole theme of as it's written, let there be light. You feel what I'm saying? Out of the darkness. So all of this stuff is that this is how they play these games, because Logan don't mean nothing but hollow. And when you understand the Most High, remember as it's written, hallowed be thy name. You know what I mean? Secret light hidden, like the aspect of the light being hidden within the darkness. The Most High has to be revealed. That's what this whole movie was about. That's why Chris was dating Rose, because, Chris is short for Christ, and Rose, as it's written anyway in scripture, that rose, that the Most High, the Messiah should sprout as the lily, as the flower, as the rose, Sharon's rose. You get what I'm saying? All of this is together, and there's no way around it. But let's just keep this thing flowing some more, because what I want to talk about too is August 28th, the day that Chadwick Boseman dies, the day that the whole Emmett Till situation happened. Remember, in the United Kingdom, August 28th is the day when slavery was abolished. You feel what I'm saying? Dr. King, the I Have a Dream stage speech happened August 28th. You feel where I'm going with this? And what I want to talk about too is the movie. Let me play the clip. This movie was supposed to come out August 21st. You feel what I'm saying? But it ended up coming out February 12th, which was literally the whole aspect to me. The 12 backwards is 21. And I'm going to get into that real deep on what the 21 stand for later on. But notice how, like I was talking about, this movie right here was supposed to come out August 21st.
Deputy Chairman Fred Hampton of the Illinois Black Panther Party.
Notice how T'Challa loses the throne, and then Chris becomes the Black Panther. He becomes the king. Let's delve deep into this.
Repeat after me. I am a revolutionary.
If you remember the movie on this film right here, Judas and the Black Messiah, this is so deep, y'all, and I want y'all to pay attention to this. Now, Judas and the Black Messiah, remember, the guy Logan King on the film was the one who betrayed the guy who played Chris, the black, aka who's now the Black Panther. And when you understand that King became William. You know what I mean? This is proving my point of what I'm talking about. Because remember I said how Logan mean nothing but hallowed be thy name. You know, where the secret light is hidden. Now, you know, he plays William O'Neill, who betrays Fred Hampton of the Black Panther Party. And when you understand the name William, William is literally short for I am that I am, aka the Most High's name. You know, in Exodus 3:14, you know, the will of I am that I am. You know, the will of God is basically what it's saying. But when you understand that, that's crazy how they made this happen. This is how they know, this is how they played a whole big theme of conscious energy being transferred in this simulation. Let's keep it flowing. Notice, like I said, Hawaii became a state August 21st, 2 years before Obama was born. Now, Obama is born in Hawaii, and he is born August 4th, 1961. So when you understand that this stuff is that real, man, because that film, the Black Panther, you know, Judas and Black Messiah, was supposed to come out August 21st, 7 days before Chadwick Boseman allegedly dies. You feel what I'm saying? And what I want to talk about right quick is when you understand this too, to get my point across, Michael B. Jordan was 33 years old at the time of Chadwick Boseman allegedly dying. And when you know about the Messiah, remember he goes to heaven at age 33. He ascends to heaven at age 33. Now, what I want to talk about is Chadwick Boseman was born in 1976. So when you understand the number 76, 76 is the top of the pyramid. You get what I'm saying? The top of the pyramid is measured at 76 degrees. Hence why the Illuminati pyramid don't have no capstone, because all that represents is they don't want the Messiah being the headstone. They don't want him being the 76 degrees. They want to be the gods of the world. You feel what I'm saying? Just to get my point across. This is why you know all of this is blasphemy. Because when you know about Michael B. Jordan, him being 33 and his new movie coming up, his name is Damani Lewis. And all Damani means is gift of God. And when you know about T.I., the rapper T.I., you know how he's king of the South and his name is Tip. And his son's name is Damani. And all they is trying to say is all blasphemy, because Tip don't mean nothing but the tip of the cliff, aka the Messiah, the king of the South. So you know how the Messiah is from the southern kingdom of Judah. So all of this stuff comes together. Notice why his name is going to be Damani Lewis, because Lewis is aka the Lewis stone that the Freemasons reject to use. That's why you don't have no capstone on the Illuminati pyramid. So you see how all of this comes together. And to get my point across some more, notice the same year Obama is born, August 28th, 1961. Remember you had the Marvelettes release the song, "Hey, Mr. Postman, hey." That song, "Please, Mr. Postman," that represented nothing but the aspect of the delivering of their anti-Christ aspect. Hence why it came out the same month of Obama, man. There's no way around all of this. You feel what I'm saying? There's no way around all of this. This is why August 28th, before he got elected, August 28th, 2008, he didn't get elected to November. And you remember John Lewis was the one that was commenting on it, the one who helped with the Civil Rights March back in 1965 when they said Hawaii is the one who knows integration works. I did a video on this thousands of times. But yeah, John Lewis, it was nothing but an antichrist, man. Hence the whole aspect of them all take, as it's written, many shall come in my name. They all partake in his name, Lewis, because they want to take its power in the name to be the headstone, to be the gods of the world, the 76 degrees. And it's real, because when you understand Michael B. Jordan anyway, how his name is Michael B. Jordan, when you understand that whole theme as it's written, remember the Messiah was baptized in the Jordan River. So when you understand the Michael don't mean nothing but one who is like God. You feel what I'm saying? Like you got the archangel Michael, and then you have Michael, which is a code for nothing but the aspect of the Messiah named Lewis thing. You feel what I'm saying? So when you understand this, remember back in Daniel 12:1, remember as it's written, in that day, you know, at that time, Michael, the great prince who protects your people, will arise. There will be a time of distress such as has not happened from the beginning of nations until then. But at that time, your people, everyone whose name is found in the book of life, will be delivered. Hit the Mr. Postman aspect. But to keep it going, remember in the 80s, you had all the best Michaels. You had what? Michael Jordan, Michael Jackson, Mike Tyson. And every last Michael was dominating every category, genre that they was an entertainer in. They dominated everything. You feel what I'm saying? This is all showing how everything comes together, man. Because as we know anyway, remember Chadwick Boseman had what? He had colon cancer allegedly. So when you understand that the colon cancer, it obviously attacks the bowels. And when you know about the Virgo, remember Kobe, like I said, Kobe was born August 23rd. And when you know about the Virgo, which is, he's a Virgo. So when you know about the Virgo is what? The stomach, aka the bowels. And I'm going to get into my point right quick, because remember in Revelation 12, it talks about the woman who's clothed with the sun and the moon, and who's crying because she's bringing forth the child who will basically be the man child who ruled the nations with the rod of iron, and he's caught up with God unto his throne. Hint the whole aspect of Chadwick Boseman having a colon cancer, and Kobe Bryant, allegedly dying from what? He's dying from the helicopter crash, because Bryant means his name will ascend. And remember, as it's written, the Son of Man shall ascend out of the heart of the earth, in the bowels of the earth, after 3 days and 3 nights, at the age of 33. Hint why Michael B. Jordan was 33 at the time, y'all. And Bryant means what? To ascend. So basically, Chadwick Boseman, they was trying to say that what? They was trying to say that he's the Panther. Remember, the Panther is the god of the underworld. Remember, I showed that earlier. And how he represents the beast rising out of the sea to be as the Antichrist. You feel what I'm saying? To deceive the people. So all of this stuff all comes together. It's all about who got the eyes to see and ears to hear. Because when you understand this, that's why Michael B. Jordan always replaced Chadwick Boseman in the whole thing when they played on a movie together. Even on Black Panther. Notice why Chadwick Boseman was the Jaguar. And Chadwick Boseman, was the Panther, and Michael B. Jordan the Jaguar. You feel? Because when you understand the Jaguar's mouth represents great wisdom, and it's like the gateway. You feel what I mean? And what I want to talk about right quick, remember I was mentioning the whole aspect of the 21 bridges, and the whole aspect of like August 21st, the Black Panther, Judas and the Black Messiah was supposed to release, and before Chadwick Boseman died, Hawaii being a 21st state. You feel what I'm saying? And how Chadwick Boseman had 21 bridges. When you understand that whole thing, which I'm about to take y'all in deep breakdown right quick, when you understand the Messiah, this is why I was talking about the name Lewis, how Michael B. Jordan is playing Lewis, because when you understand Louisiana is the Gulf of Mexico, hint Louisiana. You feel what I'm saying? And to get back to my point right quick, I got to go back right quick. Remember when I was talking about that movie, The Father? Remember when I was talking about that? Now in the movie, Anthony Hopkins, remember remember I said about the aspect of the forgotten memory and everything? His daughter on the movie name is Anna. That's why they had to win this award over Chadwick Boseman. Because remember, Chadwick Boseman was blaspheming the Most High.
Hate him with all the fury in his heart.
You feel what I'm saying? So when you understand that whole aspect, Louis Anna, when you look at this, in Revelation, as it's written in Revelation 4, that the Messiah is as an eagle, as a hawk, one of his forms, one of his 4 faces. So when you look at number 21, is literally in the Gulf of Mexico, because as it's written in 2nd Esdras 13, that the Messiah will be revealed out the sea. You get what I'm saying? That nobody will be able to know until that day and time when he's revealed out the sea. This is why they created the satellite, in the aspect of like really being prepared to be able to witness the Messiah coming forth in the 21st century. Hint the 21 aspect. All of this is no way around it, y'all. There's no way around it. You feel what I'm saying? I want to just keep it as simple as possible. But like it's all in our face how it's about who got the eyes to see and the ears to hear, because as it's written in Luke 16:26, between us and you is a great gulf fixed. Hint the Gulf of Mexico, Louisiana, and as it's written, the Most High, he said that let us make man in our image. Hint between us and you is a great gulf fixed. This stuff is real, man. Let's keep it flowing. More right quick. Notice why Michael B. Jordan always used to die on the movies, on The Wire, you know what I mean, and all of these things, you know what I'm saying? He died on The Wire, he died on Fruitvale Station, a lot of movies. And you know, his mama said that she got tired of seeing him die. You know, remember he died on Black Panther, but notice now Michael B. Jordan is at full power. You know, they call him the most beautiful man in the world, things of this nature, because now the role he's playing is a powerful role. He's playing a role of Michael, aka what? You know, Michael ascending out the Jordan River. You get what I'm saying? The Messiah being baptized in the Jordan River, reaching full power. You feel what I'm saying? So we got to understand these things, how all of this stuff, the role that these people play is sick. It's all blasphemy. As it's written that they blaspheme the name. That's what the 666 is all about. You remember, as it says that you will know the number of his name, because Satan blasphemes the name of the Most High. He blasphemes the Messiah, man. Let's keep this thing flowing some more right quick. Talk about those who know Chadwick Boseman. Remember, he played Jackie Robinson, right? And if you know about Jackie Robinson, remember he wore number 42 and Kobe wore number 24. Hint 4224. You know what I mean? Let's keep it simple. But when you understand this, with Chadwick Boseman playing Jackie Robinson, remember Robinson used to play for the Brooklyn Dodgers. You feel what I'm saying? And you remember they beat the thing that got me thinking earlier is how you see right here 24-42. But the thing that got me thinking earlier is how 1955 you had the Brooklyn Dodgers beat the Yankees. Remember, this is the year Emmett Till dies, 1955. So notice this. Brooklyn Dodgers beats, which is Jackie Robinson, who Chadwick Boseman plays. And you remember Chadwick Boseman dies August 28th, just like Emmett Till. When you look at that, notice why they had to win the World Series that year. And notice they played against the Yankees. And the same thing, too, because the Philadelphia Nationals, that's what they was called back then, 1955, won the NBA Finals. Notice Kobe again and Chadwick Boseman, both in the year of 1955, man. The whole aspect of, they was already predictive programming it then. You feel what I'm saying? They were called the Syracuse Nationals, which was Philadelphia. But when you understand this stuff is crazy because they played against the Pistons. And when you know about, remember back in the day, remember Kobe remember he lost to the Pistons. Because when you understand lakes, all Lakers mean is the lakes. And when you know about the Piston, that represent nothing but the man upon the horse, aka the Messiah upon the horse. You feel what I'm saying? That's all it represented. That's why they almost got swept that year, you know what I mean? But just to keep it simple, notice how the finals that year was 4-1. Remember, they were supposed to get swept, but they lost 4-1. Remember, Kobe allegedly dies at 41. You get what I'm saying? Just put that out there. But when you know about this, notice how all of this stuff comes together, and there's no way around it, y'all. There's no way around it. And what I want to talk about, too, remember when I was talking about the Lakers beating the Heat and winning the finals that year, last year? Remember the aspect of Lake of Fire, Fiery Serpent with the Messiah. Now, notice, to get my point across, notice why New York Giants was playing against the Dallas Cowboy. Because when you know about the Messiah, as it's written in Revelation 4:7, you know that he's as the ox, a.k.a. the bull. You know how Texas is the Lone Star State, Longhorn State. You know, Longhorn's the salvation of Messiah. Now, when you understand the Lone Star, that represent the Messiah being a bright, shining morning star. Now, what I want to talk about is when you understand this, notice why Dallas was playing against New York. You remember about, like I said, Chadwick Boseman played Jackie Robinson, who was from where? Was on the Brooklyn Dodgers. Now, when you understand that, Giants has number 23, which is LeBron's jersey, and number 24 is Kobe's jersey. And when you look at it, look at literally, let's pay attention to this. Look at this play.
Prescott breaks the tackle.
You see how he breaks his leg? You see what I'm saying? And notice that the record for the Giants is 0-4 and Dallas is 1-3. So when you add 1 plus 3, that's 4. And 4 plus 0 is 4. That's 44 right there, y'all. 44. Remember, Obama is the 44th president. And then you see right there is 23. You see the guy who hurt him was number 23. Because what number 23, remember I said Kobe was born, what, August 23rd. So all of this stuff comes together and there's no way around it. There's no way around none of this stuff. So let's just keep it flowing some more, because What I want to talk about too is the same day that the LA Dodgers won the World Series last year. What's her name? Vanessa Bryant sold the Kobe Bryant mansion. Come on, y'all. Notice this. All of this stuff comes together and there's no way around it. Because when you understand New York as it's written, remember New York, how they call it, what do they call it? They call it the Garden of Eden. You know, Madison Square Garden, the Garden of Eden. And when you understand that, hint the whole aspect of the World Series back then, because the World Series was nothing but the battle for New York. Who's going to be the one to take over and rule the Garden of Eden? This is why it's so important why Chadwick Boseman Black Panther movie was 2 hours and 15 minutes long, because that literally represented nothing but you know, as it's written in Genesis 2:15, and the Lord took Adam and put him in the Garden of Eden to dress it and to keep it and to, you know, to maintain the Garden of Eden. You feel what I'm saying? All of this comes together, man. Notice how all of this comes together. And notice right now why the Knicks and Brooklyn Nets are dominating. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, you know, they're not just dominating, but I mean, I think the Nets right now, the Nets is ranked number 2, and the Knicks are number 3. You know what I'm saying? And remember, that's the best that they've been. Knicks been since what? Knicks ain't made the playoffs since 2012, y'all. And let's go look back at those standings back then, because remember, Miami Heat again was number 1 at that time. And when you look at the New York, remember they were number 2, and Brooklyn was number 4 back then. Come on, 2-4. Kobe wore number 24. There's no way around this, man. Hint 2012 is when Brooklyn Nets became a team. And what I want to talk about right quick is, remember DMX, like I just been breaking this down. Remember DMX had his funeral at the Barclays Center. So when you understand Barclays Center, all Barclay means is nothing but the birch tree, which is what? The tree of life. You feel what I'm saying? AKA Garden of Eden. The battle for New York, Garden of Eden. This is why they had to do this big ritual. Now, when you look at it, going back to it, notice that Kanye West had DMX on top of the altar. Remember when I was talking about the whole aspect of the Illuminati pyramid trying to keep the Lewis stone from being at the top of the altar? Hint why DMX, because all X means anyway is Christ. So when you look at it, notice why DMX is at the top of the altar. You feel what I'm saying? And remember King Von dies where? Remember they say he dies in Atlanta. So when you understand that, notice Atlanta is what? The gateway city of the South. Now, when you understand scriptures, remember DMX is at the top of the altar. As it's written, blessed are those who keep the commandments, that they may have the right to the tree of life and may enter in through the gates into the city. Because when you understand that, the Atlanta being a gateway city, remember King Von, they say that they reminded him of King David, aka David Barksdale. That's why they call him grandson. So they was trying to say basically like he's a descendant of King David. It was all a Messiah role, how the Messiah comes through the house of David. So when you look at this and how DMX is at the top of the altar, hint Atlanta being a gateway city, practically saying King Von's sacrifice was their way of entering the gates. That's why Georgia that day was the way for Biden and Trump to win the office. You feel what I'm saying? They had to win Georgia in order to win the office, and Biden won. So when you understand that, that was their way of saying, okay, we entered into the gates, so now we're about to get to the top of the altar and eat of the tree of life, aka New York. Hint how New York is a big role right now because it represents nothing but the garden in the east. Hint the battle for New York back in 1955 via the sacrifice, you know, Emmett Till. This stuff is all in our face, and it's all about who got the eyes to see and the ears to hear, man. Because when they talking about, you know, as it's written in scripture, you keep the commandments of the Most High. Hence, Satan is changing the laws. Notice Obama's policies and everything. You know what I mean? All the laws are changing due to everything that's going on. I don't really like to mention it. We ain't stupid. We know what's going on right now. How all the laws of travel and everything is changing because that's their way of saying that you're going to eat off the tree of life. You know, that their way, their new world order, that you're about to enter into heaven. This new world order, because when you know, as it's written anyway in scripture, that it's easier for a camel to enter through an eye of a needle than a rich man into heaven. Hint why the Masons do the camel walk. And what I want to talk about right now too, notice like digital currency is is a big thing going on, because all that represents is the whole aspect of inheriting the riches, the kingdom, the digital money, the money that's not physical. Remember how the Most High says you have your treasure stored up in heaven. This is why they got digital currency, because now they're saying that they about to enter enter into the gates, and they about to embrace the new world order. That's why Bobby Shmurda is the face. Remember, they calling him the king of New York. Busta Rhymes did. Hint the whole aspect of New York coming back into power, aka the Garden of Eden. And Bobby Shmurda is going to be the face for the Rolling Loud concert that's coming up, which is for digital currency. So it's no way around this, y'all. It's no way around this. This is how big this Kobe Bryant and Chadwick Boseman situation, King Von and DMX. You know what I'm saying? This stuff is crazy. But I'm actually going to end that right here. I just really wanted to elaborate on that. Thank y'all for watching Hide and Seek TV. Much more is coming. Peace.